Man, the guy stick to this guy, man. I don't know what he's saying. He's not wrestling for the fights, man. Here we don't play wrestling. He's fighting, man. I don't care. Somebody takes me down. I don't think so. This guy gonna come to the cage and come and take me down. No, he's not wrestling. We don't stay like wrestlers, man. With this wrestling shit close, man.
Bo Nickal is facing heavy criticism after his recent loss to Reinier De Ridder, and Khamzat Chimaev didn't hold back in his response. Many viewed Nickal's defeat as a reality check, his first real test against elite competition. Once hyped as a future star, he came up short against De Ridder, raising doubts about his readiness at the highest level. Still, one setback doesn't erase his potential or determine what comes next. ****.
The knees. Reinier De Ridder was raining knees. After any combination, he'd throw a kick, throw a punch, he'd throw a knee. He'd throw a combination, he'd throw a knee. He would throw a knee, he would throw a knee. Bo Nickal ate every single knee. I don't know if he blocked, but 5% of them. It caught up to him. I'll add the video in here, but Bo Nickal TKO'd by Reinier De Ridder via knees. The All-American national champion was helpless out there.
Ariel Helwani reflected on Bo Nickal's loss as a clear indication that he had stepped into a much higher level of competition, despite being a heavy favorite. Nickal was outclassed by Reinier De Ridder, who ended the fight with a perfectly timed knee to the body. Helwani emphasized that De Ridder's experience and composure were key factors, demonstrating that skill and fight IQ often outweigh hype and potential when the stakes are high. He noted that the loss was clean and unquestionable, serving as a reminder that there are levels to the game. ****.
But this was a massive step up in competition against Reinier De Ridder, and you know the odds wouldn't suggest that, because he was once again a gigantic favorite, and he lost. He lost fair and square. It was an absolute brilliant performance by RDR. The knee to the chest took everything out of him. It was a brutal shot to the solar plexus, and there he is, the multiple-time one championship champion, proving that on this Saturday there are levels.
Helwani also responded to fans who were quick to label Bo Nickal a fraud, saying such reactions missed the bigger picture. He believes this moment shouldn't define Nickal's career, but instead marks the beginning of a critical phase. Now that Nickal has encountered real adversity, Helwani views this as a true starting point, a chance to see who Bo Nickal really is and how he'll respond to his first professional setback. ****.
And so, of course, in the aftermath, there's the fraud check stuff and all that. And I'm not even going to sit here and say, oh, fraud check, what does it mean? Like, you don't even have to get so granular when it comes to that. On Saturday, Bo Nickal was matched up against a very good fighter, a fighter who has been around the block, who has had success in other organizations and some early success in the UFC, and lost fair and square. And so now we get to find out who Bo Nickal is. Now you get to find out who Bo Nickal is.
Moreover, Chael Sonnen reflected on Bo Nickal's transition to MMA, noting that while Nickal brings plenty of life experience, MMA is a completely different world compared to wrestling. He clarified that he wasn't just referring to technique or scoring. It goes much deeper than that. Sonnen expressed his main frustration with MMA. Fighters generally only compete around 3 times a year. He suggested that this limited activity can hinder growth and stall momentum, particularly for rising prospects like Nickal. ****.
Bo has had so many experiences in his life, but MMA is different than wrestling. And I don't mean just the scoring and the skills, obviously, right? Captain Obvious over here. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I have one resentment in MMA. Only one. And it was that we only got to do it 3 times a year.
However, Reinier De Ridder noted that he could tell Bo Nickal was hurt every time he landed a body shot, observing that Nickal clearly didn't want to absorb more of them. He added that by the end of the fight, Nickal began throwing wildly. To De Ridder, a clear indication that the body shots had taken their toll. ****.
Every time I would hit him to the body, I could tell he was hurt, and he didn't really want to get hit again. And then at the end, he was firing pretty aggressively, and this is also a sign that they got hurt, right?
De Ridder further explained that at one point in the fight, he felt he was close to finishing Bo Nickal. Sensing the momentum shift, he ramped up the pressure and used head movement to stay sharp. When he noticed Nickal backing up and preparing to throw his right hand again, De Ridder saw the opening and delivered a perfectly timed knee, landing clean and ending the fight. Asterisk, asterisk.
So I thought, I think I almost have you now. So I put some more pressure, even got to show some nice head movement, and I saw him backing up, getting ready to throw the right hand again. I think if I throw this knee right now, I'm gonna get him. So I did, that's about it.
Daniel Cormier raised the possibility that, perhaps without even realizing it, Bo Nickal was concerned about Reinier De Ridder's size, which might explain why he talked so much about weight leading up to the fight. Cormier urged journalists to consider that perspective, noting how large De Ridder appeared during the walkout and how effectively he used his size to pressure Nickal. According to Cormier, De Ridder made Nickal look like someone who isn't quite ready for the top tier of the sport. Asterisk, asterisk.
Do you think subconsciously, and I got this from our good friend Adam Felton, do you think subconsciously Bo Nickal was doing the weight thing because he was very concerned about Reinier De Ridder's size? Because RDR's a big dude, especially when they walked out there, RDR was big. He was just walking him down. And honestly, Jill, he made Bo look like a guy that isn't that good and not ready for the highest level of competition.
Before the fight, Daniel Cormier addressed Bo Nickal's bold claim that no one at 185 pounds, not even Khamzat Chimaev, could beat him in pure wrestling. Cormier agreed, saying that in a straight wrestling match, Nickal would dominate anyone in the UFC's middleweight division. However, he also emphasized that wrestling inside the octagon is different from traditional mat wrestling. While Bo may be the most technically skilled wrestler, Cormier explained that Khamzat's MMA experience could give him an advantage in cage wrestling. He noted that Chimaev often shoots from distance, a tactic that likely wouldn't work against someone with Nickal's wrestling pedigree. Asterisk, asterisk.
Bo said this. He said, I don't think there's really a guy in the world at 86 kilos, 185, that can beat me in wrestling. That is about as strong a statement in regards to Khamzat Chimaev that I've seen Bo Nickal make. Love you, Bo, but be specific. He's talking about MMA. And honestly, I agree with Bo. Those guys cannot out-wrestle Bo Nickal. There's not a guy in the UFC at 185 pounds that could make it one round with Bo Nickal in a wrestling match. Get that out there. It is a complete non-event. It's a non-starter. He would literally mop the floor with every one of those guys in a straight wrestling match. Not close, not competitive. All of our favorites, we love them, but they cannot compete with Bo Nickal in wrestling. I don't want your comments. I don't want you to, I'm always like, yo, tell me in the comments. I don't want your comments. Bo Nickal 10-0 every guy in fighting, in straight wrestling. But inside of an octagon is different. So in theory, what Bo Nickal is saying is true. But in reality, Khamzat Chimaev, the more experienced guy inside the cage, honestly may hold the wrestling advantage. Just knowing how to wrestle in there. One area that would give me a little bit concerned if your team Chimaev is that most of his shots are from distance. Those will not work against Bo Nickal.
Brendan Schaub expressed strong belief in Bo Nickal's potential, calling him America's best hope for becoming a world champion. Daniel Cormier echoed that sentiment, emphasizing that Nickal's wrestling is elite, and if he doesn't use it effectively, he's likely to get frustrated. Cormier noted that wrestling typically dominates jiu-jitsu, and with Nickal's defensive skills, he should hold the advantage. While acknowledging that striking isn't Nickal's strongest area, Cormier praised his seamless transitions between jiu-jitsu and wrestling, saying that's what truly sets him apart. He confidently stated that if Bo leans on his wrestling, he should be able to defeat Reinier De Ridder with ease. Asterisk, asterisk.
Bo Nickal is fighting. Y'all must have forgot. You guys know how high I am on Bo Nickal. I think he's our last hope as an American become world champion. If he doesn't use his wrestling, I'm gonna freak out. He's such an elite wrestler. Be so dominant in wrestling, you don't give up about their black belt. Wrestling usually beats jiu-jitsu 9 times out of 10 if you just have some defense. If we get a striking match, I'm gonna lose my and probably say nothing. But still, his transition is so high level from jiu-jitsu to wrestling, dude, that's what makes him special, not his striking. Yeah, but Bo Nickal should absolutely mollywop RDR.